The owner of Harlem's Crest 5 and 10 had his eye on Lino Rivera because he swore he saw that 16-year-old pocket a 10-cent penknife. Well, along came a mounted police officer to arrest Lino for stealing, but noticed that a crowd had gathered right outside the store. He didn't want to stir them up, so he took Lino out the back way. Now, a woman in the crowd saw the officer coming out the back and shouted that the officer was going to beat Lino. And then, by sheer coincidence, the crowd saw a hearse parked in front of the store and thought it had come to haul Lino's body away. Well, a crowd of local Harlem residents grew thicker and more agitated. They demanded to see Lino, but the officers told them it was none of their business. And protest outside the store gave way to looting and window smashing as night fell. This was the beginning of the 1935 Harlem riots, and they lasted 2 days. 200 million was lost in property damage. 75 arrested, mostly black people. 3 people were killed. At the heart of what inspired 200,000 people to the streets that day was a neighborhood pushed to the brink by racism in every sector of their lives: policing, employment, housing, education. The Great Depression and the government's gross neglect of Harlem hushed the once teeming clubs of the Harlem Renaissance. Amid cries from activists, civil rights leaders, and unions, New York's Mayor Fiorello LaGuardia set up a biracial commission to diagnose the problem and to prescribe a cure. This commission found that the upheaval was due, in large part, to the nervous strain of years of unemployment and insecurity of black residents in Harlem. To this must be added their deep sense of wrong through discrimination against them in the school system and by the police. And the extra police patrolling the streets in the wake of the protest weren't helping. To the citizens of Harlem, this show of force simply signified that property will be protected at any cost. Sound familiar? In 1935, it was a 10-cent pocket knife and the coincidence of a hearse. In 2014, in Staten Island, New York, a loose cigarette made the hearse a reality. Now, as then, we are experiencing the same events unfolding in living color. Police brutality under the guise of protecting property. Racial disparities in housing, policing, employment, COVID-19 deaths. We have a chance to do it differently now, to make the changes we were too complacent to make in 1935. Defund the police! Defund the police! Defund the police! Thanks for watching. If you want more on this topic, click the notification bell and subscribe to the channel. The next episode is on a 1919 Chicago uprising, and use the comments section to ask any questions you might have on policing and racial justice in the U.S.